If you like when the price of Bitcoin goes up, you're going to love this video because the Bitcoin hash ribbons indicator just showed a buy signal. And the last times this has happened over the past 4 years, Bitcoin has gone up at least 48% and the average being 138%. So in this video, I'm going to share with you what this indicator even is, what it potentially means, and what I am changing in my own personal portfolio to take advantage of what is happening. Bitcoin is still down 69% from all-time highs, but it has officially gotten its first buy signal on the hash ribbons indicator. Now, this indicator is not a micro type of an indicator where all of a sudden you want to throw all your money in because tomorrow it's going to go massively up. This is typically a macro type of an indicator that has been very accurate in predicting the price of Bitcoin going up, and there's a direct correlation. It's not just based on momentum or on strength or on moving averages, but more so based on what is happening in the mining network behind the Bitcoin blockchain. So if you know anything about Bitcoin mining, these miners, they verify and validate transactions on a blockchain. There's millions of computers around the world. It's actually the strongest computing network in the entire world. What happens is when the price of Bitcoin is going down, their income goes down. So the miners that are over leveraged, they have really high electrical costs, they can no longer pay for their machines to continue to run, so they capitulate. And that's exactly what we saw right around here on June 11th. And then you'll see that we start to get, the moving averages start to climb a little bit. And this is when the 30-day moving average of the hash rate actually goes below the 60-day. So we've got a short-term cross in the hash rate of the Bitcoin network. And then we see it come down and then hash up. The hash starts to pick back up because miners start to turn back on their machines. Then you see the buy signal. Now, the last 5 times that has happened, this was in 2018 after a big sell-off, which I really believe this is probably the closest thing that we're looking at in comparison to where we're at now, because we came down over 80% from all-time highs. We came down 75% from all-time highs this year. All right, and now, they had a 284% gain from where the hash ribbons indicator showed a buy signal. All right, the next one we saw a 48% gain, which is right before the COVID flash crash. Directly after the flash crash, we then saw a 65% gain on the next one, and I kind of grouped these two indicators together. You could have also, hit this indicator, and that you still would have got a really large appreciation here, even more than 65%. But since they were so close, I kind of grouped them together for simplicity purposes. Then after that, we saw this one that took us up 235% to 65K before coming down. And then this one actually on the last one that we've seen, which is in 2021, which is right around August of 2021, we actually saw a 130% gain from this low right here, but actually it was 61% from the hash ribbon indicator. So that's the first thing that I'll say is typically this indicator is a little bit of a lagging indicator, because what you need in this indicator in order to show a buy signal is you need 3 things really to happen. All right. First of all, you would need the 30-day moving average, which is shown by this blue line right here. You need the 30-day to go below the 60-day moving average on the hash rate for the Bitcoin network. All right. So that's first, the downtrend. Then you need a reversal where you need the short-term 30-day moving average coming above the 60-day moving average, which is shown by the blue line coming above the purple line. But that's not all you need. You also need price to be going up. So typically this indicator will be a little bit, it'll actually your perfect time to actually buy Bitcoin would have been likely around 2 to 4 weeks before this indicator typically shows. But still, this is a macro type of indicator. So this is something you're looking at over long periods of time. Like I said, this is not something you're using to time a quick swing trade that you're going to exit next week. This is a time where you are, I will kind of separate my portfolio into really long holdings that I'm holding for a long period of time. And then the second category that I have in my portfolio, I kind of call cycle swing, which means that I'm swinging out of these positions. I'll enter a position at a low, and then 3 to 4 years later, I will exit later into the cycle. All right. And that's where you can make a lot of money and not have to spend a ton of time trading, but you got to practice patience and you got to understand these big macro indicators. So anyways, the hash ribbons has officially shown a buy signal. Now, what am I actually doing? Well, I have just sold my car, I sold my bananas and my walnuts, and I'm going all in on Bitcoin. and I'm going to swing trade this into 2028. No, I'm just kidding. So what I've done is I haven't done anything. First and foremost, I actually took some profit on some of my short-term swing trades. So we have been shorting the market. We've got a group called the Quantum Crypto Trader. It comes with a program. It comes with macro, micro, technical analysis on chain, and we also get together for an hour every week to analyze the market. So I'm starting to exit more of my trades. You'll see that up 135% on Cardano, 66% on this near trade, and then up 29-30% on BNB. And I actually just fully exit ETH. I think ETH is going to be pretty strong during this time leading up to September 15th, going into Ethereum 2.0. So the first thing I have done is started to actually realize some profit. You'll see there's actually realized profit that I've taken and unrealized profit, and I'm likely going to realize this here pretty shortly, because I don't want to be betting against the momentum of the market, but I also understand that there is still big momentum that could potentially happen to the downside in the stock market after you saw my last video about rejecting off of a really key level of resistance and also hitting the 200-day moving average. If we tap that, which we just did, and actually see a reversal, that's going to be the most bearish thing. And I think that is the thing that could make this indicator really irrelevant, is if we see a macro meltdown. But if we're just looking inside the crypto Bitcoin ecosystem, this is a really great indicator to use. So number one, cutting some of my shorts, and then taking a closer look at some of my longer term positions. And this evening and probably over the next like 3 weeks, I will be adding significantly to my longer term holdings. Now, I typically only hold a few assets in my longer term holdings, but Bitcoin is by far the largest one in my crypto portfolio as far as my long term positions go. And I will be adding pretty consistently to my long term positions in Bitcoin. If you've been watching this or you've been a part of some of our groups, we added at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22K specifically, because that was where realized price was. That was where the 200 period moving average was on a 1 week time frame. We had a market cipher buy indicator as well on the weekly time frame. There's a ton of things, a bunch of on-chain metrics. So we bought Bitcoin right below 20 and in the low 20s. And since then, we've started to swing some alts and obviously leverage trade a bit. But now I'm looking at, okay, these are some of the positions that I want to take for the next 4 years. So I'm starting to add heavily this evening into the next 3 weeks to my longer term positions. This video is not a video or a recommendation for you to go buy Bitcoin. I just want to let you know what I'm doing, because I think it's important to be transparent and for you to have context into what I'm doing so that you can kind of put the puzzle pieces together. And obviously your situation is completely different, and you should always consult with an advisor or be a prudent investor yourself and have some self-awareness. But for me, looking at this chart being down 69% from all-time highs, a lot of the on-chain stuff is flashed, a lot of the technical stuff is flashed, and now we finally have this is more of a fundamental indicator, because it shows the power of the Bitcoin network and what the Bitcoin network is doing, which is the strongest computing network in the history of the world. So I really love this indicator. I think it's really, really strong. And, if you follow me on Instagram or, even I'm sure on YouTube, we called this one as well, which again, it went up 130% after it actually, if you would have bought at this pivot low to the peak at 69K. So obviously you're not going to time it perfectly, but it's important to see how big of a swing some of these trades can be. So anyways, hope you got value from this video. If you did, let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know what you think about this indicator. Maybe you think it's extremely dumb, and I would love to hear your feedback on maybe why you do or do not like it. Thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you here on this next video.